You are listening to The Diary of a Wannabe Writer, presented by Richard A. Boxshall, in which I chronicle my life and attempts to become a professional writer by, doing some writing, daily, hopefully. Hello, it's Monday the 23rd of September 2024. You're listening to The Diary of a Wannabe Writer, although, as seems to be normally the case when I start this at the moment, not a lot of writing going along, and I'm not in Boston either. I felt really, really unwell on the way into work yesterday after I recorded the podcast. It was absolutely my plan to go in. I'd done all the prep work. I'd got my aircraft diagrams loaded up. I'd got all the menu information, and I was about half an hour into the drive when I just realised I didn't feel well enough. And one of the things you have to do when you report for work is declare that you are fit. And actually, I was very, very sick and was very, very sick. Luckily, I was near a service station, so I was able to do it not, in the car or at the side of the road or anything like that. But then I phoned in and turned back. So I have literally spent today in bed. I got back home about, what time did I phone in? I must have got home about 4:30 yesterday, because I phoned in about 4 o'clock, because I left at about 3:30 because my report was due to be 6:30. And I literally slept, didn't have anything to eat, didn't feel like food, and just slept, and then woke up today at about 12:30 in the afternoon, at which point I've got nothing in the house at all food-wise, and obviously I needed to eat something because today was meant to be my 5th working day of 6 away, and therefore there was no fresh food or anything in the house. Yeah, so I did a bit of a shop at Waitrose, and I've done very little apart from that today. So I've watched some TV stuff. So I watched the second 3 episodes of Doctor Who Flux, which I really enjoyed. I did not enjoy it the first time round, but I really enjoyed it the second time round. So, although they do like foreshadowing, they do seem to like the Doctor knowing that their life is about to end. So, the 10th Doctor, and Ood actually foreshadowed his death. And then did that happen with the 11th Doctor? I think it might have done. I'm not sure. But yeah, definitely 13. The whatever it was that the Swarm and Swarm and I can't remember the other character's name were trying to free, kind of told her that her life was about to come to an end. But yeah, it was a really good series. I mean, there's only one episode. I mean, episode 3 was a bit kind of weird and sort of flashback. It just kind of didn't make a lot of sense, but I enjoyed the rest of it. And everybody said it had a really disappointing climax, but it had the destruction of the Cybermen, Sontaran and Dalek fleets. Oh, spoiler. So, I didn't mind it at all, as well as kind of hanging on to the mystery of who this fugitive version of the Doctor is. So I've done that. And then the other thing I've watched a bit of today is in the 1960s, well, actually, it happened in the 70s or 80s, but basically the BBC, just before the home video market sort of happened, decided that it was too expensive to keep all these old videotapes with old episodes of black and white Doctor Who. They decided that nobody would ever want to watch them. They weren't going to be able to repeat them, so they decided to burn the tapes, and a huge amount of Doctor Who, from the 60s in particular, from the first 6 series, which were in black and white, so the first 2 Doctors, William Hartnell and Patrick Troughton, were erased by the Beeb. And some have turned up since, because they did sell them abroad, and the contracts abroad basically stipulated that you have to dispose of the tapes after you've aired them. I think they had the rights to air them for a year or whatever it was, and a lot of companies never got round to it. And thankfully, this meant quite a lot of old Doctor Who episodes have been recovered, but there's still a lot. I can't remember what the number is, but it's like 90 something original 25-minute black and white episodes that don't exist. And so what they've started doing quite a while ago now is animating them. Now, it's quite lucky because a lot of Doctor Who fans in the early days, before videos existed, would make audio recordings of the episodes, so that although the video is missing, they have the audio of every single episode. And thanks to modern technology, they can clean up, even if it was done with a microphone stuck in front of the speaker of the television, they can clean them up and make them sound like good quality recordings these days. There's a guy called Mark, I can't remember his surname, but he's also a composer on the later seasons of classic Doctor Who, is particularly an expert at doing this. And so what they've done is they've used the original audio and animated the episodes. And what they started doing initially, the very first time they did this, they took a story where there was like 2 episodes missing. I think the first one they did was a 8-part Cyberman story from 1969, or might have been 68, but around then, called The Invasion. 6 of the episodes existed, but 2 didn't. So what they did was they animated the missing 2 episodes. And of course, because it had to tie in with existing footage, what they did was make sure that the design matched the live footage episodes. And then as things went on, once they'd done a lot of these, a lot of the ones where they're just doing the odd episode to complete the story, they then moved on to doing whole stories where the whole thing was missing. Or if there was only one episode that existed, it would have been weird to have one episode that's real and 5 that are animated. So what they started doing was animating the whole story. And this gave them the liberty to kind of do what they wanted with set design and stuff, because the early ones were really, really faithful to the look of the original, whereas now they take liberties with that, basically. So they, as long as the visuals still match the audio, they don't worry about the set design being exactly the same. So the most recent one, which is the other one I started watching today, is based on a 1966, I think, story from William Hartnell's final season as the Doctor. It might even have been 67, actually. Anyway, one of the two. From William Hartnell's final season as the Doctor. And it's called The Celestial Toymaker. And one of the reasons I think they did it was because the character turned up in the 60th anniversary specials, played by Neil Patrick Harris. But yeah, so they've animated it, but it doesn't resemble the original. I think some of the characters do. So I think the Toymaker itself resembles the actor who originally played him, and then of course the Doctor and his assistants do. But it's a really nice way of having the missing episodes, and they've done quite a lot of them now. In fact, we got told that they were stopping doing them for a while because they I don't know why they just decided to stop. But then one came out, The Celestial Toymaker came out this year, so hopefully there will be more. So they haven't done that many William Hartnells. The majority that have been Patrick Troughton. So in fact, there's only a couple of Troughton stories that don't exist in some fashion now. I think, So there, hopefully, eventually we will have animated copies of all the missing episodes. And of course, the other thing that's really interesting down the line with AI as it is, so again, every single original Doctor Who story, including the missing episodes, had somebody photographed who would take still pictures from the episode. So you do wonder now, in this day of in the days of AI, how difficult it will be to use computer programming and AI to recreate the episodes from these photographs and the original audio. And I think that would probably be more satisfying than a cartoon version. So yeah, we'll just have to see how technology makes these things happen. The other thing they did do, which was really good fun, there was a 1-part story called Mission to the Unknown, and it served as is a single episode, 25 minutes, and it served as a prequel to a 12-part story called The Daleks Master Plan. And it's unique in the run of the original series because it didn't have the Doctor in it. And I think it was shot because the previous year, there'd been a story that hadn't been very good. So what they'd done is they'd edited 2 episodes down into one to make it better, which meant they basically delivered 1 less episode than they should have done. So to make that up, they had to deliver this extra episode, which was called Mission to the Unknown. And again, it doesn't feature any of the regular cast, just features the Daleks, and it acts as a prequel to the Daleks Master Plan. And what's interesting about this one is some film students actually recreated and filmed the episode. Okay, none of the original actors are still around, but they recreated the sets. They recreated, the look of the makeup for the aliens and stuff. So although the episode has been wiped and went missing years ago, a video copy does exist, and it's actually quite good fun. They've tried to make it as faithful to the original as possible. But anyway, I've gone on for 10 minutes now, and I've not even gone to work or really done anything apart from sit on my arse today. Hopefully I'll feel a bit better tomorrow. But anyway, take care. Thank you for listening. See you at some point. Bye-bye. You have been listening to The Diary of a Wannabe Writer, presented by Richard A. Boxall. Thank you for tuning in to my random ramblings, and if you'd like to know more about me or my projects, visit my Linktree at linktr.ee/Richard Wright, capital R, capital W. Thank you for listening.